Muy buenas a todos, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Bienvenidos un día más al canal. Vamos a empezar hoy un juego diferente, ¿vale? Vamos a empezar hoy Slay the Princess. Ayer ya acabamos Chance of Senar, un juego muy de chill, un juego que disfruto bastante. Hoy cambiamos de tercio, nos vamos con... Entiendo que será una visual novel, ¿vale? Lo que sé del juego es prácticamente nada. Lo he iniciado hace un ratito, simplemente para ver que la capturadora y todo. Muy buenas, Alan, bienvenido. Literalmente me acabo de levantar a la siesta. ¿Qué tal tú? Yo estoy bien, tío. He trabajado un poquito esta mañana, la tarde al final la he tenido libre, despejadita, así que me viene de puta madre para jugar hoy con calma esto. Y como decía, no tengo ni puñetera idea del juego. O sea, sé que se supone que te mandan que mates a la princesa, ¿no? Y dices, vale, ya. El juego, cuando lo he iniciado, sí que me ha puesto una pequeña advertencia y vemos que la música que parecía tan tranquilita, lo que estamos escuchando es el menú de pausa del juego. El juego me ha advertido que era un juego de terror. Me ha advertido de que no había decisiones malas, de que no hay finales prematuros. Simplemente que me encuentre lo que me encuentre, que tire para adelante. Entonces, vamos a ver, ¿no? hasta qué punto es verdad esto. Y lo último que me ha advertido el juego cuando lo he iniciado es que esto era una historia de amor. Dice. Vale. Vamos a ver, ¿no? La recomendación. Dar las gracias a Sander que está por aquí. Que la copia del juego es suya, de Steam, de esta biblioteca compartida. Y también por la recomendación y tal. Vamos a ver qué tal. Ay, qué gracia. Tengo la costumbre de pausar la música cuando pasamos a la pantalla del juego, pero claro, no. Aquí no hay música que pausar. Guardo el colacao y saco el cemento. Como tú veas, Alan. Tú mismo. Vale. Aquí debería estar ya todo bien. Bueno, vemos que la pantalla de título va cambiando. Hemos visto una imagen ahí un poquito perturbadora ya de entrada, ¿eh? Hay que decir. Voy a mover un poquito esto por aquí, más que nada para poder... ahí está. Para poder coscarme si falla la cámara, tío. Voy a full ratón. Me imagino que no necesitaré el teclado. Igual, bueno, si me hace falta lo tengo aquí al lado, vaya. No. La casa que está detrás de la mía. Pues, no sé entonces si te va a gustar el juego, Alan. Vale, vamos allá con la nueva partida. Capítulo 1, el héroe y la princesa.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Vale.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
De acuerdo. Ah, vale, y te da aquí. Uy, la cámara aquí está en muy mal sitio, pues. Espera un segundito. Espera un segundito, ¿vale? Porque vamos a cambiarla. Yo qué sé, la vamos a dejar mismamente por aquí, debajo de este menú, ¿sí? Más que nada porque me han aparecido ahí a la derecha un montón de opcioncitas y claro, si no, no la vais a ver. Oh, me acabo de fijar que si mueves el ratón es como... Parece 2D, así en estático, pero le han dado como una cierta profundidad a las ilustraciones, ¿no? Y simulan como un efecto, como si estuvieses mirando de alguna manera por una ventana, ¿no? Vale. El fin del mundo, ¿de qué hablas? ¿Has pensado que igual solo quiere acabar con el mundo porque está encerrada en un sótano? Vale. Pero matar a una princesa es un poco horrible, ¿no? No puedo hacerlo otro, olvídate, no pienso hacerlo. ¿No has considerado que igual me parece bien que se acabe el mundo? Si lo hago, ¿recibiré algún tipo de recompensa? Vale. La opción esta republicana me parece maravillosa. Porque vamos a intentar averiguar algo más, ¿no? Yo tengo curiosidad.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. you have to put an end to her.
Si no me dices por qué es tan peligroso, no pienso matarla.
She's not dangerous. She's just a princess. The danger comes if she gets out, which she will unless you do something about it.
Ajá. ¿Qué pasa en el
The
sótano?
more specifics you have, the harder it will be for you to do this very important job. She's a princess. People will listen to her because listening to her is in their nature. And when they do, everything will come crashing down.
Bueno, estás, o sea, está dándole vueltas al tema, pero no me está contestando la pregunta. Es decir, de que una señora salga de un sótano que está secuestrada, entiendo, a que se acabe el mundo, hay un trecho importante, ¿no? ¿Tienes alguna prueba que respalde tu teoría?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far. You
Una
might as
señora
well reach
mágica.
the end of your journey.
Es como el capítulo ese de los Simpsons, ¿no? De que está en una convención de Sena, la princesa guerrera, le pregunta ¿cómo explica esto? No sé qué. Lo hizo un mago. Ya está. Esto es igual. ¿Has pensado que igual solo quiere acabar con el mundo porque está encerrada en un
While
sótano?
I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
Vale.
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
Vale. Se está cabreando el narrador,
Arguing
¿eh?
semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
De acuerdo.
Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Voy a seguir tocando los huevos al narrador, ¿vale? Matar a una princesa es un poco horrible, ¿no?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a...
Es que yo no he dicho eso. Me estás sacando de quicio las cosas.
Is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
A ver, matar en general está mal. No es porque sea una princesa, ¿vale? Es que, a ver, es que no. O sea, no me vale esto como argumento. Te quiero decir, matar está mal, así en general, punto. Ya vístelo de la forma que quieras. Gallo, no puedo hacer lo otro.
Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules. I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off.
Mátala tú, no te jode.
Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
¿No has considerado que igual me parece bien que se acabe el mundo?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
Perdona, pero el 90% de los villanos de fantasía, aunque no tengan ningún plan B, o sea, se acaba el mundo y me voy yo a la mierda también, les parece estupendo. O sea, te estás cargando, ya no voy a decir fantasía en general, pero de videojuegos o de RPGs, te estás cargando la motivación de mucha gente, ¿eh?
I mean, maybe some people do.
Ah, vale.
Nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those.
No sé. Hombre, o sea, me estás diciendo que si yo soy malo cuando me están mandando matar a una persona que está encerrada. ¿Recibirá algún tipo de recompensa?
Yes,
decir.
but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
¿Me puedes decir cuál es el premio?
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than
Como
your
como me
wildest
está
imagination.
vendiendo la burra, ¿no? Quiero decir. Y si le digo que no lo
Are you
pienso hacer.
serious? No, you have to do it.
Buah, si me piro, loco. Me dejará pirarme y ya está.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
A la cabaña no. Lo único que importa es a dónde no voy. A la cabaña, no voy a la cabaña, ok.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it.
Vale.
Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Hostia, ha salido voz del héroe, ¿eh?
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world
Cabrones.
is going to be saved after all.
Me voy de nuevo.
Really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you?
Sí.
It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies.
Ya veo, ya, lo de la inspiración.
Forever.
A todo esto, déjame que mire una cosa. Ah, vale, ok. Por más chantaje emocional que me hagas, no pienso aceptar.
Stakes and consequences aren't emotional blackmail. They're facts of life, and if you had an ounce of maturity, you'd understand that. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
Ajá. Buah.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
Quiero ver que no estés de farol, lo primero de todo.
And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
Vale.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves.
O sea, me encanta cómo se está rayando la música.
But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick.
O sea, hay múltiples cabañas. ¿Será una referencia a los múltiples finales?
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Ajá.
Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to
Está
shirk your
guapo,
responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
La verdad que no le falta razón.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Capítulo 2, la extraña.
You're
Vale,
on a
pero
path in the
la historia
woods,
sigue.
and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Hostia.
You're here to slay her. If you don't,
Pues se supone que el mundo ya ha acabado, ¿no? Son bucles. Qué locura, ¿no? Todo lo que hagas tiene un cambio.
A terrible sense of déjà vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead. What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there.
No.
It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess.
Vale.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
Vale.
A warning before you go any further.
¿Qué? ¿Qué
She
me vas a
will
decir?
lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
De acuerdo.
If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
Vale, pues vamos a la cabaña. Ahora ya sí que nos queda de otra.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors.
Hostia, qué rayada, ¿no?
Across what's almost the same space. It's all shifted.
Qué guapo, igual esto es consecuencia de que había un montón de cabañas, ¿no?
For the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity?
¿Tú crees que es tan raro, Sander? Yo me he ido deliberadamente a tocar los huevos al narrador. O sea, es la única razón por la que estamos aquí. No es que sea yo aquí Sherlock Holmes, ¿sabes?
No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, and when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world.
Vale.
And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves?
Curioso.
Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard.
Bueno, si tú lo dices.
Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
No has dicho nada del espejo en la pared.
We should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's
¿Y esto qué
the
es?
blade sitting on the table and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even
De
more.
hecho, sí. Porque ibas a mentir sobre algo así, ¿qué sentido tiene?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
Voy a acercarme al espejo.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Vamos a limpiarlo.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Hostia. Das por hecho que eres humano, pero... Escúchame, o te tienes que coger cita para una manicura, ir al dermatólogo o no me cuadra mucho, ¿eh?
But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Voy a entrar en el sótano, no voy a coger la hoja.
The door to the basement creaks open,
Por dar por saco.
revealing a web of branching
Hostia, qué
staircases
rayada, loco.
built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down.
Pero yo entiendo que todo esto es consecuencia de que las cabañas se han replicado un montón de veces y por eso estamos viendo cosas tan raras, ¿no?
The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour.
Pues no llevamos el cuchillo, así que...
Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Vamos a ir por esta que dice que es abrupto hacia la izquierda. A ver qué pasa.
You step to the left. The path is cruel against your feet, the impact of each step sending pulsing vibrations up your legs, until there's nothing left in them to feel. The air around you grows cold the further you progress. but first a barely noticeable drop, quickly evolving into a numbing cold. Your toes feel like blocks of ice, your breaths puff out in clouds of condensed vapor. You shudder against it as you continue down the stairway, losing yourself in the bone-deep chill.
Sí, la verdad es que sí, ¿eh?
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless
Ya, me gusta cómo se va
and emotions of the journey,
deshaciendo el dibujo.
a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you just going to stand there?
What? Qué abrupto esto.
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
Qué locura.
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways.
Vale.
Princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems... normal.
Vale. No me he dado cuenta de que estaba aquí, le voy a decir.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching you stare at me for a long, long time.
Me va a dar a preguntarte sobre tu existencia, ¿tú crees, Ricky? Veremos, no me digáis nada, por favor, que es la primera vez que lo juego.
The shadows recede, revealing the princess's face. I don't think she likes us. Wouldn't you be skeptical of someone stumbling in here if you were her? We lost ourselves the second we stepped into this place. I don't know how long she's been here, but I can't imagine it would be easy for her to trust anyone. Those eyes, though. They're so sharp. It's just deception. Don't buy into it. You can do this.
It's okay. Don't worry. Sometimes
What?
I get scared too.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time?
Aquí no
Does
estuve.
it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now. Ooh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Bajar hasta aquí ha sido raro, como si me hubiesen partido y vuelto a juntar. ¿Tienes idea de qué me ha pasado?
What? Like you need me to hold your hand and tell you everything's okay? You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here?
¿Pero de qué coño vas?
We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either.
¿Cómo te
You
llamas?
can address me as Your Royal Highness or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really. You can call me Princess, if you'd like. It doesn't matter. I've been down here for so long. What's the point of a name if there's no one around
Qué
to use it?
movida.
None of them have names. How astute. I told you she was untrustworthy.
Ahora eres
What's that
más...
supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin? I don't feel like I've gotten any bigger. There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago.
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated.
Sí, ¿a cuál de ellas?
How would we even do that? Where would we start? We'd always start by retrieving the blade. Can we even leave this place? I don't like thinking about what might happen to us if we have to go back through those stairs. Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it.
¿Y si no la quiero?
Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we? What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers? Can't even follow what's going on anymore. We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
No, no, ahora nos vamos a quedar. Imagino que si estás aquí encerradas por algo, ¿sabes por qué?
Maybe it's because I'm dangerous. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen. Or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already.
O sea, esta quiere que la matemos.
Do it. Don't be coy. We both know why I'm locked away here. I'm a monster, and the second I get out of this place, I'm going to end the entire world.
This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. You can do this. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
Vale. ¡Wow, qué locura! Ahora ni tan siquiera puedo elegir. Ahora la elección son las tres a la vez, ¿eh?
Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride.
Sí. De hecho, incluso en la expresión es mínimo, pero hay detallitos diferentes.
You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone.
Vale.
Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart.
Vale.
I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we?
Tío, no sé dónde poner la cámara literal que no moleste, porque he caído también en que aquí no estaréis viendo una mierda. Voy a ponerla un poquito más... Uy, perdón. Le he montado. Voy a poner un poquito más por aquí, yo qué sé. Estaría bien que el juego decidiera dónde quiere poner el texto para que yo no tuviera que estar haciendo el ninja todo el rato.
We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. They are surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Un poco así.
Please.
No tengo claro que se te pueda arreglar. El espejismo de la elección. Cuando todo es posible, nada lo es. Me sale un logrito aquí. No sabes si le has dado tiempo a oír tu respuesta. Ha desaparecido y hay otra cosa en su lugar.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
No sé dónde he ido y no tengo ni idea de cómo buscarla.
She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing. Then what the hell are we supposed to do?
Narradora desaparecida.
Does that mean the world ended? Again, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Creo que debería mirar al espejo.
Dreadful about it. I don't think you should. No, don't do that.
Hay que hacerlo.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
Te calles. Te acercas al espejo. Reina el silencio cuando avanzas. Han desaparecido, pero el espejo permanece. Ha llegado la hora de ver qué hay. Eres tú. Loco. Estás solo en un lugar vacío, todo está en silencio. La cabaña. Te encuentras en la cabaña. Acercarte a ella.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
¡Hostia! ¿Qué eres?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
No sé lo que soy.
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
¿Un frágil receptáculo como regalo?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart.
Vaya tela.
Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
¿Es esto el fin del mundo?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
No te falta razón. ¿Conoces al narrador?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Ah, qué guay. ¿Conoces los mundos más allá de este lugar?
I know only that they are.
¿Eres tú lo que me ha enviado a dar muerte a la princesa? ¿Eres tú lo que me ha atrapado aquí?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
¿Eres la princesa?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
¿Pero siempre has sido la princesa o simplemente la estás convirtiendo en parte de ti?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Vale. ¿Nos conocemos?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
Déjala marchar.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept.
Vale.
The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me.
No hay vuelta atrás, básicamente.
I promise that it doesn't hurt.
¿Y ahora qué?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
O sea, nos está dando a entender que si completamos más finales y volviésemos como por este camino, quizá la cosa podría cambiar. ¿No te da miedo que encuentre una forma de matarte?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Buena forma de verlo, supongo. ¿Cuánto voy a olvidar?
Everything, until we meet again.
Bueno, lo dudo mucho, que se me olvide esto. ¿Cuántas más partes de ti he de encontrar?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
Vale. ¿Qué pasa si no permito que me hagas esto?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
Me han enviado a dar muerte a la princesa y evitar que destruya el mundo. Si te ayudo, lo destruirás tú.
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to
Hostia.
remold.
No estás hablando claro. ¿Qué harás si te ayudo?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Con calma. Vamos poquito a poco, Lucía. Quiero investigar. Tranquilidad. Si le digo que me espero, no pasará nada o... No hay decisiones incorrectas, eso es lo que decía el
If you
juego.
need time, then I'll wait with you.
Vale. Hostia, le puedo decir esperar para siempre.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage. You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
Qué locura, tú. What? Ay, me chapa el juego, tal cual. Me chapa el juego de una. Espérate, vamos a darle otra vez, ¿no? Espectacular, ¿eh? Me ha molado que chape el juego realmente. Vamos a esperar que cargue otra vez. Ahora es como que no... Vale, ya está.
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
Vale. Pues nada, le vamos a decir, es que no tenemos... No tenemos más narices que hacer que olvide.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
Sí, diga que la recuerdes. ¿A cuál de ellas?
You won't.
Ok. Es una forma rápida de olvidar. Corazón rico y vibrante. Llévale la extraña a ella.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Qué locura, tengo muchas preguntas ahora mismo, ¿eh?
You're here to slay her. If you
Vale, ok. Puedes omitir los diálogos que ya has visto pulsando tab en el teclado o R-Tab en el mando. Ok, o sea que podría darle... Vamos a decirle que siempre he querido cargarme un monarca.
That's the spirit.
Si el narrador no le he hecho caso antes, y no hacerle caso al narrador es lo que nos ha llevado hasta ahí, básicamente.
You make your way up the short path to the
Me he
cabin.
tirado para atrás, luego me he vuelto para atrás, luego las cabañas se han hecho como 200.000, la realidad ha implosionado, han aparecido 20 princesas, de repente estamos hablando con una entidad sobrenatural y aquí estamos otra vez. Siempre vamos a morir, pero no me digas eso. Alguna forma habrá de no morirse. No jodas.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a
Vale.
princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Vale. Vamos a la cabaña ya. No me da otra opción tampoco.
The interior of the cabin is almost
Vale.
entirely bare. The
Esto
air
ya...
is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Pues vamos a coger la hoja, claro.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Porfa. O sea... Vamos a ir viendo poco a poco, ¿vale? No, no os rayéis porque esto... Yo me imagino que si vamos y la matamos va a ser una cosa rápida y podremos probar otra iteración. O sea, no rayarse.
door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is...
Para que le
Her
den un favor,
voice
vale.
carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Es decir, oye, creo que tengo que matarte.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
Vale.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
Vale. Sí, no era broma.
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
Joder, Sandra.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Vamos a tirar para adelante, ¿vale? A ver qué pasa.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
Pero los cuchillos hay una cosa que se llama tirarlos también, ¿no? Si te quieres acercar.
So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. You
A ver qué
lunge
pasa.
forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh,
La mano sigue estando en
this
la
is it,
mierda, ¿eh?
isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder. Do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Sí, demasiado fácil.
It's over. Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse?
Mala idea.
I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
Está muerta, no vamos.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad.
Vale, menos mal.
But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago,
What?
the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
¿Qué? No me jodas, déjame salir.
What's done is done, and there's no going back now. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
¿Qué dices, tío?
Psst. Hey, we're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
Tírate al vacío, total. Ni de coña, ¿se te ocurre alguna idea para sacarnos de aquí?
But you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
Vamos a hacerle caso al narrador, a ver qué pasa.
What a relief. I suppose we've got all the time in the world for you to change your mind. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voice's pleas fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Vale. ¿Que no has oído al narrador? Soy feliz, somos felices.
Are we really happy? Or is he just telling us that
Hombre, sí, somos felices, vamos a decir que sí. Quizá no sea feliz y no lo digo porque seas la última persona con la que habla.
Because I have an idea. The blade. I can
Vale,
hear
okay.
everything you say. He's right.
Pero si usamos la hoja nos matará, ¿no moriríamos?
How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense, we die.
A mí no se me ocurre un final más
From
feliz
another
que ese,
angle, are
¿sabes?
we even really alive anymore? This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy.
Más vale que tengas razón, porque como muramos de verdad, me voy a coger un
If we
mosqueo.
die, you can yell at me all you want.
Los muertos no gritan mucho.
I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it.
Vale.
You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
El fantasma, espérate.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the
Pero ahora
world.
somos un espectro, ¿no? Llámate a la princesa.
I can assure you that you didn't. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again. Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
Supongamos por un momento que estoy diciendo la verdad y esto ya lo había vivido. ¿Para qué iba a hacerte caso? ¿Para qué iba a molestarme a hacer nada?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
A ver.
Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just like you asked us to, and then you locked us away in an empty void for eternity. So we slew ourselves too.
Lucía, calma.
Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me, because I would never want you to do that. Believe it or not, I care about you.
Vale, pero insisto, primera vez que juego, vamos a jugar con calma, no tenemos prisa, no tengo literalmente ningún otro sitio en el que hacer ni estar ahora mismo. Vamos a tomárnoslo con tranquilidad, vamos a ver las cosas.
And I believe your other question was something along the
Es
lines
que es
of,
eso.
"Oh, what's the point of doing
Hay
anything?"
un placer en el puro no hacer nada, en el puro explorar y ver opciones de diálogo. Quiero decir, este juego es texto, si no hacemos esto. Claro, es eso. Vale.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We slew the princess, the world outside the cabin disappeared, we died, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
Vale.
Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left? It doesn't matter, because we didn't fail to slay her. And if she's really back, which I doubt, it'll be just as easy to do it again. But after that nasty trick you pulled on us, maybe she's not the only one around here in need of slaying. Just stay focused, will you?
Hablemos un poco sobre la
Just be quick
princesa.
about it.
Si acaso el mundo acabó después de darle yo muerte, cuando intenté irme todavía
That's a
desaparecido.
good point. How do we know we didn't have things backwards? Maybe slaying the princess was what ended the world, not the other way round. Yes, maybe this whole thing was a trick to get us to end the world. And now we get to go through the whole charade again, wholly aware of what's waiting for us at the end. But that's assuming she's alive in that cabin. We did kill her, after all. You're going to find her in the cabin. If the princess had actually been slain, you wouldn't be here. And let me me assure you, killing her will not end the world. I don't know what you think happened to you last time, but it's a load of nonsense. You'll get your happy ending. I promise. Well, that's exactly what we're afraid of. Really? Living happily ever after sounds that bad to you? Oh well, there's no use arguing over your masochism. The cabin awaits.
La última vez la apuñaló el corazón y murió. ¿Cómo puede destruir el mundo alguien así?
She just can. You'll have to trust that what I'm saying is true.
Es que no me has parecido fiar nunca desde el principio. ¿Quién la encerró en ese sótano? ¿Qué es este sitio?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
Vale. Si la encerró la gente, ¿por qué no le dieron muerte ya que estaban? ¿Por qué me toca hacerlo a mí?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this.
Vas a tener que
Call it a
comértelo más,
prophecy,
quiero comer.
if that helps. But it's just... Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course we're special.
Me estás ocultando cosas. ¿Qué es lo que no me quieres decir?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. This is boring. He's clearly not interested in talking. So let's just do as he says. And maybe he'll stop bothering us.
Quizás.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Podríamos hacer algo muy divertido.
Oh. Do you think there's something else out there? All right. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave?
No voy ni a contestar.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange.
Vale, sí.
That's
Vale.
great to hear. As long as you bring that fiery attitude to princess slaying, I think this will all resolve splendidly. Oh well. Cabin it is. The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge.
Otra vez me está omitiendo el espejo a propósito.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
La cabaña tiene un aspecto diferente al de la última
Very
vez.
different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous second life proposition. You haven't died. You certainly haven't already slain the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
No has dicho nada del espejo.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. Who cares if there's a mirror? Let's just go into the basement and find her body so we can be done with this.
Me importa si me están mintiendo
As
o no.
do I. I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself and... You walk up to the wall next to the basement. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. hope you know how ridiculous you look, right? But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying over it. Clearly, it's not even important enough to be acknowledged.
Vale, vamos a coger la
Take the
hoja.
blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Y vamos para allá.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor.
Supongo que no seguirá diciendo que no la matamos.
Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal grin. And finally, the rest
Vale.
of the body floats up to join the head.
Un espíritu.
This isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying.
Digo, tío.
What's a ghost?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. That means we could kill her again.
Vamos a esperar a ver qué pasa.
I see you brought that annoying knife again. So, are you waiting for a chance to use it? Or are you here for something else?
Hay muchísimas opciones de diálogo aquí, ¿eh? Muchísimas. Esto es precisamente lo que intentaba decirte en el bosque. Esto ya ocurrió antes, la matamos.
Yes, obviously things are strange right now. I think it's safe to say that you've seen something you shouldn't have seen. Whatever worlds you've hopped between, whatever versions of me you've met, none of that matters now. There's no changing what's already happened. But you have a job to finish. Finish how? We already did what you told us. And now she's a ghost. You haven't tried slaying her yet this time. And then what? And then you'll have saved the world. I think he's asking about what happens after we save the world. If that's even still an option. What do you mean, after? You already know what we mean, don't you? So why don't you go ahead and tell us? Are you going to try and lock us away in a timeless void again? Because I didn't much care for that. I'm not going to lock you anywhere. What an interesting choice of emphasis.
Yo te maté, ¿cómo es que no estás muerta?
I don't feel very bad, but I guess I'm not dead. So you must have only mostly killed me. Or maybe death is only mostly real, but it's also mostly not real. I'm not sure. I'm just the one these things have happened to, not the one with all the answers. Or any of the answers.
But we're not a ghost. Unless we are? Maybe that's why the mirror disappeared. We're actually dead. Death, at least as a form of permanence, is just a concept. And clearly it's not a very useful one anymore. Maybe we should throw it out entirely.
Tu cuerpo está justo ahí, tu cuerpo sin vida.
The princess glances back at the bones lying on the floor.
It's just a body. Do you believe these bones? Or do you believe me? Because those bones aren't talking to you.
She's seeing things pragmatically. We should do the same. Reality is what's in front of us, not our preconceptions of what it should be. There doesn't need to be a static truth. There doesn't need to be objectivity.
Tremenda rayada de juego, ¿eh? ¿Sabes por qué has vuelto?
How should I know? Why does anyone come back? Maybe I have unfinished business with you. Or maybe you have unfinished business with me. All I know is there's a hole in my chest.
Hola, Yoko, ¿qué
The
tal?
obvious one that you put there. There's something older and deeper. A nagging reminder that I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
¿Y dónde se supone que debes estar?
Home.
And just where is home, I wonder?
I don't know where home is. I just know it isn't here. But I can feel it calling to me from someplace far away. Wherever I'm supposed to be, it's out there.
How specific. And how convenient for her. You see what she's doing, right? She's suggesting that the only way you can rid yourself of her would be to let her out, which, in case you haven't been listening, will spell the end of the entire world.
Vale. Deja de hacerte la víctima. Fuiste tú la que me amenazó la última vez.
Well, yeah. You brought a knife with you. Was I supposed to just welcome you with open arms when you obviously had stabbing on the mind?
No le falta razón. Ese cuchillo podría ser para cualquier otra cosa.
But it wasn't. You can't blame me for threatening a would-be knife-wielding murderer. Especially when that would-be knife-wielding murderer became an actual knife-wielding murderer.
Vale. Y este juego fuera coño me salió gratis. ¿Y eso? ¿Puedo ayudarte a volver a casa de algún modo? ¿Necesitas que entierre esos huesos?
No. Those bones are just a body. They aren't me. Bury them. Smash them. It won't do a thing. But you can help me. This place won't let me leave. At least, I'm not alone. I've tried. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here.
Maybe we should just leave. If she can't get out on her own, then why do we have to do anything? We could probably walk out right now and everything would be fine. Hasn't got out and can't get out are two very different things. It'd be dull anyway. It's more interesting if we make a choice.
But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride.
Estoy errando, me compré un crono en el mercado de Steam por 8 € y el juego estaba a 7 de rebaja. Hostia, qué guay, tío.
After all, you owe me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly. You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
Antes de aceptar nada, vamos a ver qué pasa. Se supone que vas a destruir el mundo.
And what? You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over. She's right, though, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's try not to let emotion get the better of it.
Si te ayuda a salir de aquí, ¿qué harás?
I don't know. Maybe I'll just fade away. Finally able to rest once I'm free from
Tampoco
my
es que sea muy de
unfinished
fiar,
business.
¿eh?
Maybe I'll find someone to haunt. Maybe I'll haunt you. It's a tough question, asking someone what she's going to do with her life.
The princess leans in close and pauses.
Especially when someone is dead.
She pulls back with a playful giggle.
I don't think most living people could answer that either. Does anyone actually know who they are or what they want?
No has contestado a mi pregunta. ¿Quieres destruir el mundo?
The only thing I've ever wanted was to leave this place. It's still the only thing I want.
Sigue sin contestar a mi pregunta. Incluso si no quieres destruir el mundo, dejarte salir implica que este llegue a su fin.
It does.
Cállate.
We're not asking you. We've heard your whole speech already.
I really don't know. I'm not lying to you. I promise. The world doesn't matter. All I remember is that I'm supposed to be there, not here. I'm just supposed to be a part of it. It's home, I think. But what does it mean for anything to end? I ended, but I also didn't. I'm not so sure endings are real.
Después de que te matara esta cabaña, se teletransportó o algo así. Dejó de estar en el bosque y el tiempo perdió todo significado. Tuve que suicidarme para escapar.
You poor thing. That must have been so frightening for you.
You know, after everything we've been through, it's nice to see someone finally sympathising with us. This whole thing's been an ordeal, hasn't it? She doesn't mean it.
It serves you right.
I was pretty scared too, when you stood there not saying a word with a knife clenched in your fist. But now you know how bad it hurts to get stabbed in the chest.
It sounds like you got exactly what you were owed.
Madre mía, la esquizofrenia, tú. Vale. Voy a dejar que la princesa me posea, a ver qué pasa.
The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
Evidentemente no va a salir bien, pero bueno.
You're really trying to make it up to me, aren't you? Thanks for being a pal, killer. I mean it.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over? I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Come on, you. You've got to get up. I know everything feels heavy right now, but we still have to get out of here.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
So, it doesn't work like that for you? Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor. Are they also supposed to be you?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass.
It's okay. You can finish your thought.
I'm a voice? I'm me, is what I am. Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
You don't have to fight. We'll all be out of here soon.
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too. I'm clearly the same thing you are.
They're not listening to me. Do they not listen to you?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
So, you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
You don't have to let him get to you. You're better than that. You're starting to make things right.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
Me voy del sótano. Ahora qué pasa.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do. Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world? It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is, it's outside of the world. Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world. I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin? Does the destruction of one open a door to another? Or is it the same world reborn? Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body
Está
continues
guapo.
its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door.
Sí que es verdad que creo que una vez veamos este final voy a hacer una pausita. Pero está chulo, sí.
For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
Maybe the bossy one doesn't actually hate me. Maybe he even likes me. Or maybe he just knows that he's been in the wrong. Maybe he's trying to make amends too.
Not at all. I'll have you know that I do hate you, and I will continue to hate you for as long as I am able. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate.
Vale.
And whine. This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make...
Tira para adelante. Nos
You
vamos.
continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
We're so close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If we get out of here, I won't even care that you murdered me anymore.
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle, but you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will. Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling. Let's see what happens next. Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door groans open. You collapse to the ground, you and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort, you look up and see... yes?
Nothing. He's gone, and so is everything else.
Hola, Luca, ¿qué tal?
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming, I suppose. But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world? We're still here. Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or have we never been part of the world?
Qué locura. Pues este es un juego, es narrativo, es como una visual novel, en el que te mandan la misión de matar a una princesa y te dicen que tienes que matarla porque si se escapa de la cabaña donde está encerrada, se acabará el mundo. Es un juego raro, 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 Luca.
Okay, I've heard enough from these two. Let's see if I can pop out.
Taxi. Me sale en el ojo y te pone taxi, recoge una pasajera y llevarlo a su destino. Notas una ligereza en el pecho cuando emergen de tu cuerpo dos ojos negros que te observan.
Ella, you actually freed me, didn't you? I'm outside. Thanks for giving me a second chance, killer.
Don't mention it.
I think this is where I meant to be.
Vale, y la pilla. La pilla la movida esa rara que hemos visto de milagro en el primer final de todo. No tienes oportunidad de contestar ni nunca la tendrás, eso la veis. Si los recuerdos regresan.
Where did she go? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
No pasa nada, confía en mí. Ya hemos estado aquí, tú siempre
But
te
it feels so
asustas.
bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. You don't need to comfort him.
Nos veremos al otro lado, todo va a salir
Okay.
bien.
If you say so. Whatever makes you happy.
Te acercas al espejo. Reina el silencio cuando avanzas. Han vuelto a irse, el espejo siempre los echa, pero necesitas ver qué hay en él. Has crecido. Una vez más te encuentras en el silencio eterno. Vamos a la cabaña. Te encuentras en la cabaña.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Estás muy chungo de la gripe, Sander. ¿Eres el mismo ser que eras antes? ¿Cuánto has cambiado?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
Vale. Todo lo que dices es un acertijo, no puedes darme una respuesta clara y sencilla.
I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say.
Vale.
If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions.
Supongo que ahí
The
tienes razón.
vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
¿Qué sientes al cambiar así?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Cuando regreso es como si un mono invisible me atrapara, porque no puedo hacer las cosas que ya he hecho antes.
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They
¿Qué
are
pasa,
useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
Sí, la colección de juegos de Apolo en Steam. No, no. La que yo pillé fueron los Greatest Atomic Chronicles. Los que son el antepasado de Phoenix. Porque no los he jugado y quiero jugarlos en algún momento de la existencia, seguramente este año. Yo sé que lo que mejor me ha tratado desde que llegué aquí. ¿Por qué?
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
Vale, buena reflexión, supongo. ¿Sabes qué quieres hacer cuando termine todo esto?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was.
Vale.
I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment,
El de Edgeworth no, tampoco. El único que he pillado es el Great Atomic Chronicles. Los Investigations, sí, eso es lo que me dices, pero no los he pillado. ¿Qué opinas sobre este receptáculo?
this one is vaporous. She is a dream of a life she could never have, but that longing has given her so much capacity for kindness. She will make for a yearning heart.
Bueno, no está mal. No está mal.
Do not mourn her. She will finally be able to hold what she never knew.
No quiero hacerte daño, pero cuantas más veces vuelvo, más siento que las cosas se van a poner peor.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
¿Qué quieres que te traiga la próxima vez?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them.
Vaya, hombre.
My joy
Una
is in
petición.
seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
¿Cuántos receptáculos más tengo que traerte?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective.
Vale.
You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
Estoy listo para regresar.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Estaba claro que esto iba a pasar. Corazón adelante, yo el fantasma a ella.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path
Es rayante la estructura de bucle. Si lo veis historial. Ah, vale. Tipo tal, vale. Si vengo aquí, vale, estas son mis opciones. Para todo esto no. Pasa un poco del tema realmente. Vale, ok, nada. Vamos a salir ya, sí. Vamos a salir ya. Vamos a charlar un ratito. Voy a poner un poquito de música. A ver. Uy, chico. Ahora. Ahora. Es lo primero que se me viene a la cabeza. Está guay, no sé hasta qué punto es normal encontrarse a la entidad, porque de momento los dos finales que hemos visto nos acaban irremediablemente llevando hasta allí, ¿no? Al final la gracia es esa y el juego te deja entender que eso, que quiere que te lo pases varias veces como para ir completando esa entidad, ¿no? De alguna manera y ver si eso da algún tipo de fin a todo lo que es el bucle. Me gusta mucho el tono en el que está escrito. No hemos empezado más que a arañar la superficie. Básicamente hoy lo que he hecho ha sido intentar llevarle la contra al máximo al narrador, todo lo que he podido y más. Y luego seguirle un poquito el juego hasta cierto punto. Tengo curiosidad por qué pasaría si le sigues el juego del todo. Tipo, me imagino que si la matas, volverás a encontrarte el fantasma. Y si vuelves a matar al fantasma, no sé lo que ocurrirá realmente. Hay detalles turbios, como el hecho de que cuando tiras a mirarte al espejo o incluso cuando vas a tocarlo o tal, o sale la mano, es como el brazo de un monstruo. Tengo muchas más preguntas que respuestas, desde luego. Me apetece seguir jugando. Pero a pesar de tener tiempo, o sea, podríamos estar como otra hora o otras 2 horas más. Pero pienso que quizá en pequeñas dosis lo disfrute más. Vamos poquito a poquito, ¿vale? Veremos más finales, veremos más cositas. Mañana podemos jugar otro ratito. Podemos ver dónde nos lleva el juego, ¿de acuerdo? Y mañana igual por la noche puede que haga un directito de backlog, ¿vale? Para descansar un pelín también y ir completando un poquito la ficha. Todavía tenemos un montón de juegos de los que hablar y tal. Y un poquito. La idea estos días es seguir jugando este juego, ¿vale? 2-3 días. Esta semana se estrena el juego de Majima. Yo creo que es casi seguro que no lo tendré de salida aquí en casa puesto. Pero bueno, aunque nos tengamos que esperar una semanita más, pues tampoco me importa especialmente. También es cierto que me ha regalado un amigo hace poco la segunda parte del Ender Lilies. Me lo regaló por mi cumpleaños, el Ender Magnolia. Y en algún momento me molaría jugarlo también. Ya que jugamos el primero, me gustaría jugar el segundo, a ver qué tal. No he leído prácticamente nada. Lo poquito que he leído, algunas reviews sí que vi que lo ponían mejor que el primero, pero no lo sé. A mí el primero, dentro de lo que cabe, aunque empezó no gustándome mucho, al final luego le pillé el rollito y me gustó bastante. Así que bueno, poquito a poquito iremos viendo cosas. Gracias a Sander, de nuevo, por la recomendación, por el tema de que estamos jugando el juego gracias a su colección de Steam. Gracias a Alan también, que ha estado por aquí al principio. A Lucía igual le ha sentado mal, pero es que cuando estás jugando un juego así por primera vez, o sea, yo lo siento mucho, pero al final voy a hacer lo que me da en gana, porque es que esa es la gracia de descubrir estos juegos. Yo, por ejemplo, no concibo el hecho de que hablar con un personaje no me aporte nada que haga avanzar la historia como tal. En un juego en el que lo único que puedes hacer es hablar, lo único que puedes hacer es leer, yo no concibo el saltármelo todo y jugar rápido y sin más, ¿no? Pero bueno, son distintas formas de entender esto, ¿no? Y gracias también a Yoko y a Luca por haberse pasado por aquí. Ah, Sander, no estabas. Bueno, estaba comentando un poquito eso, que mañana seguramente jugaré quizá un par de horitas más a este. Veremos algún otro final. Y poco a poco, porque sí que es verdad que tengo la sensación de que si este juego me estoy 3, 4, 5 horas, igual cuando conozca más del mundo y cuando esté más metido, o entrevea un poquito mejor, comprenda o pueda entender hacia dónde vamos con todo esto, quizá me resulta menos pesado, digamos, el sacarme muchos finales uno detrás de otro. Pero yo creo que hoy, por ahora, estamos bien. Y mañana, lo dicho, seguramente juego otro par de horitas, aprox. Y seguramente también hagamos a la noche un directito de backlog, ¿vale? Para, yo qué sé, variar un pelín. Nada, lo dicho. Gracias a todos por haberos pasado. Espero que os haya resultado interesante el juego. Volveremos mañana con más, ¿vale? cuando te acabas un ciclo entero, el juego te bloquea conversaciones. Entiendo que eso lo hacen... O sea, de alguna manera es como que al hablar con la entidad en esta segunda vuelta, me lo ha dicho también, que como eso no le va a aportar nada, digamos, que no me iba a dejar... Que no me iba a dejar repetir una y otra vez y otra vez. Lo que no sé es hasta qué punto, claro, si hay muchas variantes, entiendo que igual puedo repetir hasta X parte, pero luego a la hora de tomar decisiones que tengan consecuencias ya irrevocables, que sí que igual me bloquean, ¿no? Me dicen, no, eso ya lo hiciste la otra vez, ahora tienes que hacer esto otro, por cojones. No tengo ni idea. No tengo ni la más remota idea, pero bueno, lo iremos viendo, ¿vale? Lo dicho. Mañana continuaremos descubriendo un poquito de qué va todo este tinglao. Y nada, espero que paséis un día estupendo esta mañana. Yo me imagino, mañana abriremos más o menos sobre la misma hora que hoy. Pues ahorita sea media tarde que a mí me va, en principio me va bien. Mañana tengo la tarde libre, así que con calma. Nada, lo he dicho. Cuidaos mucho. Gracias de nuevo por el apoyo. Un beso a todos y chao, chao.